why have you chosen to go down the acquisition route?
Been asked quite a lot about this because it's, number one, never get yourself into a fire sale. Don't start approaching people the day that you need to sell the business. So there is no shortage of business owners in the UK that are looking to exit for one reason or the other. We actually find that money is not the motivator for a lot of people. Actually, what is the motivator is making sure that their clients are well looked after.
I definitely felt like a piece of me had died. It was quite traumatic.
Yeah.
Because everything that you knew was gone. Post-sale depression is a thing.
Yeah.
It happens. Be prepared that it's going to be a massive change in your life. Hoxton are out there acquiring businesses, and today we want to find out why that is. Why have you chosen to go down the acquisition route in the UK as part of your, I suppose, inorganic growth strategy?
Yeah, I mean, look, I've been asked quite a lot about this because it's, as an international business, what business do we have getting into the UK or being more UK domestic focused? And, yes, to answer the obvious, our business has traditionally been built around expats, but actually a huge majority of our business has been with or helping people from the UK, so UK citizens. So actually having a really strong domestic UK presence will also aid our international business as well. It's like Tetley tea bags. When you go away, it's a UK brand, but you come over to Dubai and you see Tetley tea bags, like, oh, great. It's like the comfort of home, isn't it? And that's what we're kind of trying to create is, that feel-good factor around, I recognise this brand from home. They're trusted. They've done great things for maybe people that I know in the UK. And I want to continue to work with them internationally.
Yeah, nice. So in respect of actually looking at the UK as an area to acquire, I understand the familiarity of it as well. It's good for the brand. It's good to have a UK presence. What about the actual process of buying a business? Does it differ internationally to it does in say, in the UK?
Yeah, I mean, buying businesses internationally, obviously you and I are from the UK, we're very familiar with the UK, we're very familiar with UK company law, we're very familiar with what's happening and what's going on. There's a lot of IFA businesses in the UK that have been bought. It's a very well-trodden path. Internationally, there are not. There's not a lot of businesses that have been bought successfully and it's provided good outcomes for the client and for the business owners, the shareholders, the stakeholders within the business. So actually starting off in the UK, we know it's a well-trodden path. We know that a lot of advisors, we constantly talk about this, average age of UK advisors, 57. There's a lot of people coming up to retirement. It's a very fragmented industry or profession in the UK with businesses spread around everywhere. So there's a lot of opportunity to work with people that are looking to sell their business in the UK. The framework legally is there, it's in place. It enables us to cut our teeth on inorganically building up our business, which we haven't focused on before, in a manner that we're not gonna lose the house. Yep. So it's about, with anything in life, it's about taking small steps rather than just going, jumping straight into anything head first.
Yeah, absolutely. Makes total sense. So much success so far?
Yeah, we've acquired 3 businesses. I think we've got another 5 in the pipeline that are either at changing control or we've agreed heads of terms and we're just going through due diligence with them at the moment. So there is no shortage of business owners in the UK that are looking to exit for one reason or the other. There's a lot of opportunity and I'm genuinely very, very excited. I get energized by it at the potential uplift for the clients, extra services that we can offer them, and also for continuing the fantastic advice that they've received from the people that are either retiring or no longer want to be a business owner. That's another area.
Lovely. Do you ever come up against any pushback on the fact that you are international?
Yeah. I mean, people look at it and go, "Why do you want to acquire a UK business?" I mean, it's not uncommon for people to do that. But once they understand the reasons that why we're trying to doing it. We're not doing it just because we see it as an easy thing to do. We're doing it for the right reasons, which is we want to continue to provide a good level of service to those clients. We used to running businesses across multiple jurisdictions. Therefore, us having multiple locations across the UK is not going to be anything difficult, or it's not going to be anything abnormal to us. We're used to scaling businesses. We're used to bringing those, integrating those clients into our business already, because we've done it all day, every day for the past 6 years, but just not domestically in the UK.
Cool. But if you were to add a layer of benefit to the client, where an international firm or a company that has an international presence, what would be the benefit to a vendor selling their business to someone like Hoxton? What extra layer of value can you add by being international, for instance?
Yeah, I think look, there are obviously smaller benefits, but there's main drivers which probably don't lie with being just international. So international, obviously, you've got a client, they decide that they've had enough of the UK weather. As we know, past 14 months, we were discussing on the way up here, it's not been very nice. In retirement, they don't want that. They want to go to the US and live in Florida, where it's sunshine 365, or they want to go to France or Spain. At that point, you have to either decide that you're going to still probably service them underneath their UK address, which if they've left the country is not the right thing to be doing. Or you've got to hand it over. You've got to say, I can't help you anymore, and stop working with them. Working with us enables that to still happen. We can still look after that client under the umbrella they're used to, normally actually with the advisor that they're used to working with as well, assuming they've got the qualifications in the jurisdiction. So it provides that joined up approach. But what I was saying before was, I believe that actually working with a business that, number one, the business owners are financial advisors, which we all are. I still give financial advice to clients, not as much as I used to, unfortunately, but I still do enough so I can still remain relevant. And number two, we have a huge amount of extra services that a one-man or a two-man or a three-man band might not have. So we have an in-house tax team. We have legal trusts and will specialists. We employ technical specialists within the business. We have investment specialists. So all of that can be catered within the Hoxton ecosystem to help these clients and transition them through the most important parts of their lives.
Fantastic. So there's huge, added benefits and extra layers. I mean, let's move on to those extra benefits and extra layers a little bit further, because you're a heavily tech-focused business.
Yeah.
So not only do you have, all your in-house built tech, but you've also got your app as well, the Hoxton app. And again, that's an added layer, I think, or benefit to anybody looking to sell their business, being able to pass their clients on to an IFA not only has an international presence, but also has invested in technology and is thinking about the next generation as well of client that's coming on, or maybe intergenerational advice, positioned quite well. So just tell us a little bit about that app and how that could be quite beneficial.
Definitely. I mean, so the Hoxton Wealth app, which we've built out, is market leading, integrates all of their accounts, whether we manage them or not, globally. So you can live link your bank account through open banking wherever you are in the world, pretty much. You can live link your investment accounts. You can input the information on your property. You can input the information on your mortgage, your cars, your jewelry, your art, whatever. So you can get this real nice picture of your overall net worth. So we start to become truly holistic at that point, because no longer are we just focusing on one asset that we're managing, or we're not looking at a portal from Standard Life, which is just showing us one asset that they have under their stewardship. It's everything. And then from there, we help them with the wealth flow feature on our app, which is, again, market leading, which is cash flow planning for the advisors, which is in the app that the clients can use themselves. So you go in, you set it up for the client, and they can play around with it. They can tweak it. They can try different scenarios. You are automatically giving them a huge positive that they didn't have before. Because I don't know other advisors, well, we've definitely not spoken to any other advisors so far that have this capability, that they can go to their clients and say, look, one of the reasons why we are choosing to go with Hoxton is we think they're a great firm. We think ethically they stand well, but also they've got this added string, which is technology, which we've, as a smaller business, have not been able to focus on. But they've invested heavily, and we want to take this to the next level for you. And we feel it's time, with our retirement, that we pass the baton over, we integrate you successfully, and we go from there. So it's a nice smooth transition That is the idea.
Great stuff. And let's just kind of look at the typical types of people that we're looking at. We're looking at businesses as a whole.
Yeah.
What else then might be considered an acquisition opportunity for Hoxton?
So I think there's two types of two types of people that really sell their business. So one of them is people that are coming to retirement naturally. You want to be able to sell your business and achieve a capital value for it that reflects the amount of hard work that you've put into that business. Some of the guys we talked to, 20 years of work. I mean, that's your baby. That's your clients mean the world to you. You know, like that's a real... And actually, we actually find that money is not the motivator for a lot of people. Actually, what is the motivator is making making sure that their clients are well looked after. So it's achieving a capital value that reflects that and encompasses everything else. The second one, which is a bit more, I suppose, left field that you wouldn't naturally think, are people that own businesses that don't like operating in business. As we've said many a time, it's one thing to want to be an IFA, it's another thing to want to build out an IFA business, because they are two different things. It's not one and the same. So what we're seeing now is a lot of people that have become accidental entrepreneurs and they've started their own business, and they're getting to a size now where, you know, when you've got a few clients, it's all fun and games because you can do everything easily. When you've got 200 clients and you're trying to do all the compliance, you're trying to do all the accounting, you're trying to do the marketing, you're trying to manage all the people underneath, then you move away from the thing that you like. And a lot of people are now realising that, hey, I don't actually like doing those other bits. I really like helping my clients and giving the advice to them. I don't want to be sat there worrying if pay run has gone through or payroll has gone through for everyone in my business. I don't want to be sat there till midnight filing Gabriel returns on FCA Connect. And there, you know, you're not taking a step backwards. What you're actually doing is freeing up your time to be able to do more of what you want, and actually more of what's benefiting your end client. Your client doesn't care whether you're with us or whether you're with yourself. They don't. What they care about is making sure that they get the best level of advice. Now, if you've got more time to do that, then surely that's a good thing, and it's still economically viable for you.
Yeah. So these accidental business owners, they would come into Hoxton and we would construct a way to buy their business from them, and they would continue on, if they wanted to, giving advice, right? Underneath Hoxton, underneath the Hoxton brand, but we buy their business from them. Now, we would structure it in a way that they might want a lump sum up front. They might want a salary as well to continue servicing those existing clients.
Yep.
That's something that we can do. I think what we want to get at here is there are multiple options, aren't there? There's multiple ways to be able to buy somebody's business and then integrate them into Hoxton. They don't have to leave the profession if they want to raise a cash event and get some money. Because it's quite interesting, isn't it? Since I've been at Hoxton, I've come across some individuals, one early 30s and one actually late 20s, where they've started delivering and building a financial planning business self-employed, but they're at a point in their life where they want to release some money to be able to make a large purchase, such as buying a house. And they're kind of not accidental. They are just seeking an opportunity to release some money to be able to move to a different stage in their life.
And why, you know, we have a nasty tendency within the financial advice profession to not want to talk about money, to not want to talk about our own money, you know, our own earnings, our own value of our business and everything else like this. What, you know, I don't get it, but I can maybe understand that you shouldn't be focused all on money, which is 100% true, of course. You have an asset, and your asset is your client base. Now, that asset can appreciate over time if you nurture, you're good to your clients, you look after them well, that base can grow. That is your asset. Why shouldn't you be able to release some equity from it? It's like having a house, and paying down your mortgage. And, you know, at some point you might want to take some money out to go and do something else. I mean, your client book does have a capital value to it. So if you want to take £150,000 out to go and buy the house of your dreams that will make your family happy, why do you have to wait till you're 60? Why do you have to wait till you're 70 to cash out? I mean, it makes zero sense to me. Now, obviously, you know, companies like SJP offer other partners within the business the opportunity to sell, but there's no one doing it independently. And And that's what we're trying to construct, which is you don't have to give up the house if you don't want to. Like you can do that. Obviously, you can come in and sell everything. That's fine, and be paid a salary to make sure that the integration goes through, and then continue to work for us afterwards. No problem. But also, you can remain in that kind of fee split model if you wish, and release some capital from your book. We are entrepreneurial. That's what we've done as a business so far. With problems come up like that we try and solve. And I think it's a really nice alternative. And there's different ways that it can be structured as well. It can be structured as equity. It can be structured as debt. And no, you should definitely not be strapping yourself up with loads and loads of debt to go and buy cars and fancy homes that you don't need. That's not what I'm trying to get at. But you're 30. You've worked hard for the first 10 years of your career. You now have an asset, and you, like I said, you want to do something good with it, positive with it. Why not?
Yeah. It's funny when we talk about accidental business owners, because I've come across those types of individuals a lot throughout my career, and I've helped a lot of them. There was a chap who contacted me a couple of years ago, and he set up his own business thinking he wanted to be a business owner, had a go at the recruitment side of it, building a business, hiring people, and realised this is really tough. Like that side of the business, actually growing it to where he wanted to take it was really, really hard, because it was pulling him away from the part of the job that got him up in the morning,
the bit he loves,
and got him excited.
Yeah.
And then during that period of trying to build the business and this idea that he can build it, he got into a bit of debt as well within the business. Yeah. The business had debt, so for him it was stressful when he had a child on the way, and he was just like, do you know what? I just want to pay off the debt that's associated to it.
Yeah.
Have some money left over. I want to continue servicing the clients. I'm in my 30s, and I'd like a little bit of money in the bank as well.
Yeah.
And I went out there to speak to the open market, and so many companies were like, yeah, 100%, we'll do that.
Yeah.
So he ended up getting like a nice chunky basic salary, a nice lump sum, cleared off his debt, closed his business down, and he was so happy.
What a positive outcome.
Huge.
For him and for his clients, because no doubt the level of advice went up.
Yeah. And for his family.
Yeah.
It's a great thing. So I think what we want to get across here, like if you're sat there and you're thinking about selling your business, and it doesn't matter what stage you are, because it's not just for retirees, right? We'll look at anybody in any situation, and we'll take it on a case-by-case basis, because Hoxton isn't a company that is like consolidating, it's like, yeah, like let's just kind of talk about that a little bit, why are we different in that respect, say, from the classic consolidator market out there at the moment?
Well, number one, we're run by advisors, I think. So, like I said, I still give advice to a few clients, a handful of clients. I still work with a lot of my existing clients, or my older existing clients as well, overseeing things. We are not, our growth strategy is not purely organic. The advice side, we are growing our business organically by taking on new clients and trying to attract them. And so that means that we are also not just focusing on service in terms of, like how do we reduce the costs on our servicing level? That's generally what happens when you kind of shut your doors to new business. So you have new business, existing business. When people shut their doors to new business, generally service levels go down because they're not interested in, the wooing part anymore. They want to service them for as least amount as possible. And that's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to increase the level of service because we see that the new inflows of clients into our business, because we are advisors. We see that as a huge opportunity. I think consolidating for consolidating's sake is not the right way to go around. It's got to be right for you, right for the end user, and you shouldn't be trying to, buy absolutely everything. Like there's a few consolidators out there at the moment that you will come unstuck by taking that approach, because the key to any good purchase is the integration. If you're not integrating your clients successfully into the new business, all those clients will go very quickly. And again, integration also, a big part of it, looking at it from a business owner's point of view, is economies of scale. Is, what services can we provide centrally that maybe your clients aren't getting at the moment that will increase that level too? Yeah,
absolutely. Okay, so there are some considerations when selling a business, and it was a topic of conversation actually on LinkedIn quite recently.
Yeah.
Off the back of an episode that I did with Jonathan Jay, our head of UK. When selling a business, it's not always smooth sailing. There are things that can go wrong, and there are things that you might not be prepared for on an emotional basis. It's very common when someone sells their business to go through a feeling of loss and depression, like post-sale depression can happen. It's a real thing. I've come across it a lot with people. I sold my business and I definitely felt like a piece of me had died. It was quite traumatic because everything that you knew was gone. And it was like, oh my God, what next? You know, and you kind of wrapped your heart and soul into it. And a piece of your identity is wrapped up within your business. So let's just talk about that, because it's a consideration that we must address and understand. So if you think about the beginning, the middle, the end of the process, we want to make sure that this transition for the individual, in however way they want to sell their client book or exit their business or retire, is smooth sailing, right? And we're thinking about their emotional state and we're mindful of it. That's the key thing. Let's think about the beginning of the process. What do we do to make sure that the beginning of the process runs slick and quick, and not so much quick, but easy for the individual?
I think the first thing that people need to consider is it the right time to sell my business? Why am I selling? It's always a why. If it, again, like most things in life, if it's just due to money, then you might come a bit unstuck, you know, just to make money out of it. Obviously, it is a capital asset like we've discussed, but there has to be a genuine why. And then I think if you've got a good why, then you'll be at peace with it. So you're retiring. You might want to spend more time with your grandkids. You might want to spend more time with your wife, your husband. You know, like there'll be different reasons for different people. You might not, you know, you might not like the pressures of running a business, like we've just said. So understanding that why, and is it the right time for me to exit? Number one. Number two, before is understanding the perceived value of your business. And it's just about building expectations. I mean, realistically, you know, well, let's just talk about it. I mean, anything sub £1 million of profit a year, you will probably trade at a multiple of your recurring income. That can range from anything from 3 to 4, maybe. If you've got a good business, on a share purchase, on an asset purchase, maybe 4 to 5. Maybe a bit less. It depends upon the type of business. Obviously, there's a lot of variable factors. If your business has got a profit figure of over £1 million, then it will trade at a multiple of that. You have to get comfortable with the value of your business and understanding what value that you're going to get. It shouldn't be, because there's so many factors in a deal that can go, that you might get paid slightly less, but actually might be a much better outcome for you. So I can say I'm going to give you 8 times for your business, yeah. But if you never actually get 8 times for it, then what's the point? It doesn't mean anything. It's really, number one, what a lot of the guys that exit successfully are really focused on is how easy is it going to be to integrate my clients, and do my values and ethics align with the company that is going to purchase. And I think if you get that right at the start, then the price thing, as long as you're dealing with a reputable company, you can't go too far wrong. It's like no one's going to screw you or anything else like that. It has to be trust whenever you're dealing in any transaction. And we build trust when we've got fantastic acquisitions director, Tom. Tom spends a lot of time with people before we even send out heads of terms, getting to know them, getting to know what's important for them, making sure that it is a good fit. Because if it's not a good fit, not going to work.
What about during the process?
Yeah.
So they've made the decision, they're going to go ahead with it. Hopefully the due diligence has been done. Hopefully we've gotten to know what their why is and they're doing it for the right reasons. And we're talking about business here, right? What should we be considering during the process to make sure, again, it's smooth sailing and that everybody is in the right place during that process?
I think it's, number one, making sure that we are there for you if you've got any questions that you need answering or work. And it's important that we work together. Yeah, like we are going to buy your business. You are selling your business to us. It's together. It doesn't work if you are over here and we are over there. So it's making sure that if you've got any questions, we respond quickly, that we are there to, this will be hopefully the first and the last time that you do this. we will be doing this multiple times and have done this multiple times. So we know a lot of questions. We know a lot of, the things that happen. One thing actually that I would say is super important that a lot of people underestimate is make sure if you are selling your business that you are working with a solicitor that has done this before. Do not go to your mate who said he's sold a couple of businesses who is a solicitor. Like the IFA business and the way that they're put together and sold, it's a unique way of doing a transaction effectively. And if someone's doing it all day, every day, then they will be very in tune with what's right, what's not right, and you won't get caught out by any quirky kind of conditions or anything else like that. We work with FS Legal as our solicitors. Gareth and Paul have been absolutely amazing, and they've done a fantastic job for us. And that's really helped with the process as well, because they know the other solicitors normally by name because they're doing a lot of transactions with them anyway. So that you don't want. How can I nicely put this? Well, I put it how I like it. You don't want lawyers having a cock off. Yeah. We all get into this thing where they're arguing over 1 point, and like at the end of the day, it's like, what like really is this material? But and I found Paul was especially to not get into those situations, which is not my preferred way of doing business either. I want it to be us getting on well as the transaction goes forward. I definitely don't want to be butting heads with the seller all the way through. So it's making sure that they feel comfortable, I think, during the process.
What about after? Because, we talked about this whole kind of post-sale depression. I think, there is a responsibility, I guess, to make sure that the process runs smoothly and communication is clear, and then the person who's selling the business, the vendor, has hopefully reached the sale value that they were hoping for, that there were no hidden things along the way that could cause resentment, anger, and all those horrible things that happen, but also that they're prepared for what to do next, isn't it? Like, what are you going to be doing next? Have you thought about what the next stage of your life actually looks like? There's people that I know that are looking to sell their business right now. Go back to a younger chap that I know. He's already planning what his next business is. So he's like had enough of financial planning as a financial advisor, regulation, everything. It's just too much for him. And he really enjoys like the client attraction. Yeah. So now he's going to go step into lead generation. So he's like already planning that next business. So he's got some purpose. He's got something to look forward to. I think kind of at this stage here, it's just like, look, if you are going to sell your business, we want to make sure that everything runs nice and smoothly. But obviously at the same time, you might want to consider, well, what are you going to do next? Because post-sale depression is a thing. Yeah. It happens. Be prepared that it's going to be a massive change in your life. And what is going to be your next purpose? Yeah, it's the why, isn't it? Yeah. And especially if you're retiring, ultimately you've probably got to a point in your career where you have just had enough. The beauty about financial advice really is as long as you are capable of mind that you can continue doing it. I mean, we're working with a guy at the moment, he's nearly 80. Very switched on, super intelligent guy. I think he would continue going until he's probably 100 if he could. We're lucky that we're not forced out at 60 or 65 and someone just comes and taps you on the shoulder and goes, sorry mate, it's probably time you called it a day now. Like you can continue doing it for as long as you like. So I think a lot of people when they retire they're ready because it's their choice. They're not getting forced, it's their choice. They're ready to enjoy more time. And that's normally what it comes down to if they're retiring, which is they want more time to do the things that outside of their business, spend time with family, enjoy grandchildren, enjoy husband, enjoy wife, etc. I think a lot of people that will be in that depression or can get caught up are maybe people who are selling it that still have quite a while to go on in their career as well. Yeah. And also you can have all the money in the world. I mean, I've had friends sell big businesses, make insane amounts of money. They would never have to work again and are utterly miserable when they have sold that business because they didn't have the why. They saw 200 million, whatever it is, that they're going to be getting. And it's fun for 6 months. Actually, I listened to a really interesting podcast the other day on the guy who founded Spotify, and he sold his business before. And he was saying exactly that. He's like, they sold their business for a lot of money, could have retired. And he didn't have a why until he had Spotify again. And that, what you described with the chap that you've been talking to before is so important. And I think people really underestimate that. It's often, it's the journey up the mountain. The top of the mountain's this beautiful view,
Yeah.
but it's a beautiful view.
Yeah.
You're right. You
can only look at it for a certain amount of time before it becomes boring.
and then you got to go back down the mountain, don't you?
Exactly.
And I think often it's described that way, and it's quite a great analogy, actually. What about the ethical considerations then? So, ethical considerations when buying or selling a business in financial planning. What do you think are something to consider?
Yeah, look, our focus is not shoehorning everyone into our own investment platform and investment strategy within the first 30 days of us taking over. That's not what we're looking to do. We will look at the platforms that the clients are on. We will look at the investments. Obviously, as ongoing suitability, we need to make sure they are still suitable for the client. We will position it from there. Normally, we look to integrate clients over a 12-month period. But we're not looking to rip people out of what they're in and put them into our stuff just because it's going to make us a few extra quid. We are an independent financial advice firm, and that remains important to us. And making sure that continues. I mean, ultimately, most successful financial advisors are in this for one reason, which is they want to provide positive outcomes for clients. That is what we're doing this for. That is what our business is about. We're not going to change it just to make a few extra quid. It's just because I think, again, your business would come unstuck. I'm not looking at this over, I've got to get out, I'm going to exit in the next 3 years. I'm 37 years old. I want to be doing this till I'm 80, like the guy. I don't want to hang on my boots. I'm not leaving. I'm not going. So I am no real want to wring the towel dry. I'd rather build a good business that does well over the longer run because they're doing the right things.
If someone's considering selling their business, maybe they're listening to this podcast and they're thinking, well, actually, I am now considering my options.
Yeah.
What should they do?
Number one, never get yourself into a fire sale. Okay, and by that I mean don't start approaching people the day that you need to sell the business. If you were seriously considering about selling your business, obviously not 10 years' time, it's probably a bit pointless now. But if you're generally considering your business over the next 24 months, I would have a confidential chat with a few people and start to understand what the market is. And I shouldn't be saying this because we're trying to buy people's businesses, but you as anyone doing any kind of transaction, you want to come into it with a sense of I don't need to do this at this point in time, and I'm going to do it when I'm ready for the right reasons. So it's about lining that up, but you have to do that with homework. You can't go I want to sell my business tomorrow. Crap, I better go and find out someone, because no doubt you'll take the first offer that comes along. You won't have researched it. You won't have understood what's important for you. You won't have got your business in a good shape. You won't achieve the value that it's worth. Therefore it's difficult. So if you're selling your business in the next 24 months, I would definitely 100% start to reach out for a chat now. Then you've got to get your business in order. You've got to make sure that your accounts are good. You've got to make sure that your business registers are good. Now, even more so under Consumer Duty, you need to make sure that all of your clients are reviewed. Yeah? With proper reviews as well, not just how you doing, you're right, how's the kids, all right, investments up £5. Proper documented review process. I'm practicing I'm preaching to the converted already, but these things that you do now in this 24 months will enable you to extract the value from your business that it's worth. If you are not doing it and you're trying to half-ass it or blag your way through it, will mean that you do not get the value that your business is worth.
Fantastic. And if somebody's interested in finding out what we can offer them, reach out directly to Tom. So Thomas Madison, he's our acquisitions director. We'll put maybe a link through in the notes of this. You can feel free to reach out to me as well. I'm available on LinkedIn. I'm pretty vocal on there at the moment, and also, obviously, a lot of people following this will know who you are as well. So I'm assuming it would be good for them to drop you a line as well. Of course they can, 100%, as they do.
Yeah.
Which is great. And I got speaking to lots of people interested in selling their business at the moment, or looking to sell part of it and go employed and continue their journey on underneath Hoxton. These accidental business owners that we talk about. Jonathan J, who's heading up the UK, very interested in talking to people as well.
And Ollie as well. Ollie Gorman.
Yeah. So we've got plenty of people here that you can talk to. So please do reach out if you are interested in seeing your business. Chris, thanks so much for giving us an insight into what you've been up to on the acquisition side, why you're acquiring in the UK, and hopefully lots of people will start to inquire and we can start to grow the business even further in the UK.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be absolutely fantastic. So yeah, if you are interested in a chat, please don't hesitate to reach out. We'll keep it completely confidential and we'll go from there. Thanks,
Perfect.
Sam.
Cheers, Chris.
Thank you.